Hi everyone, happy to be back today for a new video, and this time we're gonna look at Lighttable mainly. And here you see I have four complete different edits of an image. It's actually one raw file and there is no copy on your disk. It's like, I think in Lightroom it's called virtual copies. Here it's called duplicates, and I will show you how to make it, but also I will show you how to manage it so that your Lighttable is not becoming a complete mess. With that said, I will first go through how we do it, and then I will bring you through three, I would call them traps, that I've seen on the different forums, three things where people will trip and may have some issue. So stay tuned for that, and especially for the third one, because I think the third one is really, really powerful. With that said, once again, how do you start from one image and duplicate it and have different type of edit on it? So for me, it can be done in various stages. It can either be done in Lighttable or in the Darkroom directly. I would strongly advise you to do it in the Darkroom part, because it would be easier for you then to manage how to do it, and then we will see how to name it also and to find your way back. So if I go on this very first image, you see on the left side you have the snapshot that you may already have discovered to compare two different edits or two different images. There is one part that is called Duplicate Manager. Here, for the sake of this video, of course, I already created the different duplicates, but I will walk you through how to do it. It's very simple. So here on the Duplicate Manager, if you open it, you have here on the bottom two options. So the first option is duplicate from where you are. So let's say you are on original image, then you can just duplicate. It will take whatever you have done previously in the image and then duplicate it to a new edit. If you take original, as said, it will create a so-called virgin duplicate where there is nothing more than the standard module activated when you import a new picture. You can use both. Actually, I would tend to use the first one because I would make the basics here, exposure, most probably tone mapper, all these type of things before playing like with color balance, like we did on the previous video or on the color balance RGB or the black and white edit. So I would strongly advise to go through this duplicate, so at least you have your I would say different previous edit. One thing that is very important for me is to really tidy up what you are doing. So you can see that if I had another duplicate here based on this red filter, for example, if I click on red filter duplicate, it will just create a duplicate of this red filter, as you will see. So here it creates a new one, but then for me here the important part is you need to name it. So for me, for example, let's say I modify it and I go through, for example, let's find back, sorry, my color calibration part. So I want to go to color calibration. I want to modify maybe and go on the green part. You see that it changed the image. Of course, I will not do again my video around black and white, but if you are interested by those presets, just don't hesitate to click here on the top right. I will link it. And then you need to name it green filter here so that you know exactly where you are. And to show you last one things and to demonstrate it, so here I validate it. If I want to go let's say back here, and I can then click to original, and then you will see that my black and white image will become once again the original one. So it's the, let's call it virgin one. So you see the difference if I click duplicate and if I click the original one. Back to Lighttable, as I told you, we will sit mainly on Lighttable here. If I just extend the number of views that we have, you see I have 6 different edits here of the same image. It can become very, very messy if you start to duplicate here in your collection a lot of different images. So one thing that is not activated by default, and honestly don't ask me why, it's the grouping part. So if I go back to this function here, I will not see the grouping part. Maybe this view will be better for everyone. I will not see the grouping part unless I tick on the top right here this grouping button. And then once I have done that, you can see that you can sorry, once again, you can of course go through the image here one by one, and if you are back on Lighttable, you have a button that is showing normally, and here of course for the demonstration is not showing it. You have here the name of the edit, and then you have a button that you can, where you can just group here, and you see the different image that you have. You can just group them in one. So this is also something that is very important. If you do not tick it here, you see it will never allow you to do that, and you will just click and it will not change everything. You need to click first on the top right, and then you need to click on this part. So this grouping part for me, it's something that it's very important. And one last thing here is that you can of course create as many versions as you want, as many duplicates as you want, but as said, I would strongly advise you to name them, because right now, if I just go there, you see that if I hover above the image, I have the name here. It will not come as default. How to do it? It's very simple. You go on your Darktable settings here. You go on the Lighttable here tab, and on the pattern for the thumbnail overlay text, you had the $version.name and the bracket. I will copy it also in the description, so for everyone you can just copy paste it from the description, apply it to your image. This is also for me something that is very useful for the whole workflow, so at least you know where you are and you know on what you are working on. I hope this part is it's very clear for you guys. One last thing that is also important here for me, if you name them, and again I insist on naming them once again, if you go back to Darkroom, if you just export them, on the export you can also add here the file name, but you can also add the same version name, so that when you export it, it will come with the name, so it will be very easy for you to just know exactly what you have exported. With that said, I told you I will show you 3, I would say, basic traps that we can work on. So once again, the first trap is it's not creating 3 different, or here in this sense 5 different versions of, or 6 different versions of your image. Each time it's one sidecar that is created and that is containing all your edits. So the very advantage of that is that it's not linked to Darktable as such, it's linked to your XMP, to your sidecar version. So if you want to backup at one point your images, feel free, or remember, sorry, to backup not only your raw file but also your different XMP, because it's where your edits are sitting and it's where your duplicates are sitting. The good thing about that also is that you are not overloading your file with 5 times the different image. You are just having 1 time the raw, and then you have XMP sidecar files that are very small and that are just adding up, and it's not trapped with the different, I would say, megabyte piling up and piling up. The second part is sometime when you edit a photo and when you want to re-import an image, you need to also remember about re-importing your XMP file, your sidecar, into the image. Otherwise, it may get lost and you would feel like the duplicate is completely lost. No, if you remember the trap one, the edit is on the sidecar, so you need to re-import the sidecar if it's not done automatically. And how to do it? It's very simple and it will be done quite quickly. You go back and as I told you, we are sitting mainly on the Lighttable, I would say, part today of Darkroom, of Darktable, sorry. Here you can load the sidecar file. You can load it. You look for your different sidecar, and it allows me also to show you that for the same version of the image, I have here for the 9184, I have 5 different XMP files. So this is where your duplicates are sitting. So if at one point you re-import the image on another Darktable, there is something that went wrong, you can re-import also the different XMP so that you secure that you have the different version of your image. For the third trap that I was speaking about, and that I think for me the most powerful one, is that basically here you may recognize the image from a previous AGX video. Here I duplicated my image, I deleted the other one. Let's say I did it by mistake. Let's say there is some issue here. You see my history is the basic history when you just import your image. One good thing about Darktable is if you already exported your image as a JPEG or as a TIFF file, you can use it to recover your history. And how to do it? It's very simple. You use the same functionality that load the sidecar file that I've shown you previously if you lost your duplicates, and you just click there, choose all file instead of just the sidecars, and you see that here I can select XMP, of course, file, but I can also, if I go to my Darktable export, you can also use an export. So you see I exported the image as a JPEG just for the sake of the demonstration. If I click on open, of course I'm not opening the image as such, and I'm still working on the raw file, but it will bring up all the history. So you see that the image completely changed here. And if I go to Darkroom, and if I go to history, you see that it brought up all the history of everything that I did on the image. So this is for me the really big game changer for this Darktable for two reasons. First of all, it will save you history if you did something wrong, if you did something completely messy. One thing to bear in mind though, JPEG is limited in terms of what quantity of data it can embed into this file. So it's only 64K, but you see for a standard edit like that with 60 or even more 72 steps, it's working. It can be limited for the let's say masking or this type of things where it can have a lot of data. If you want to secure that you have all the data inside, you should save it as a TIFF file, and in the TIFF file there is no such limitation. And I think it's, by the way, a good I would say practice if you want to save your file as a high quality file to use TIFF if you have the space for it. So you can have the raw, but you can have also your edit there, and you can re-import your edit if needed. So this is one for me of the big things of this tip. And the second tip that is, or the second part of the tip that it can be interesting to also use is, for example, let's say you share a JPEG file with someone else that is using Darktable. You can just import it and see all your edit. Or if you are on Pixelus forum and that you are on the Play Raw section, you can also, if someone exports it in JPEG, get all the different steps of edit. So for me, it's very, very powerful. With that said, it's rounding up this duplicate part. For me, it's a very powerful function here. Once again, as everything in Darktable, spend a little time to play with it, to understand it. It may not come as a snap like that. You need to a little bit work for it, but once you control it, I think it's very powerful. It's avoiding you to have I would say, a lot of duplicate image with a lot of data. Here an XMP file is really small. Then for me, mentally speaking, I would say theorize it as you have the raw file is your negative image, and then you have the XMPs that are your different recipe that you apply here. For those of you that are shooting analog, it may resonate a little bit more, but it's really this way. So you keep always your negative, and you can work on the different recipes without exploding your hard drive, without multiplying the data that you have. So I think it's very interesting, especially, for example, for those of you that I've played with the color balance RGB video here, and that I may have downloaded my summer look that I will also link here. This is something that could be useful to test the different looks on the image, compare them side by side, and if needed, just delete one without having a cramped Darktable. With that said, thank you very much, guys, for watching. I hope you enjoy it. Feel free to leave some comments, of course, to like and subscribe, and stay tuned for the next video.